So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christina. I'm one of the co-founders of meshcloud. And yeah, I'm happy to spend the next 10 minutes with you and share some of the tips that we've experienced and learned throughout the past years of building internal platforms with some of the largest organizations in Germany. Now, I unfortunately have to start with some bad news for you. What is it? Even great tech doesn't sell itself. And I have some proof for that as well, so you don't have to believe me. If we look at some of the most successful PLG companies, so PLG stands for product-led growth, we see that they spend 34% in median of their revenue in sales and marketing. So if we want to treat our platforms as products, we should invest in also marketing these platforms, even if they're great products, to make sure that they actually get adopted. And there's even more bad news, because unlike those companies over there, most of the internal platform teams, they actually do not have a multi-million marketing budget that they can spend on promoting their platform. And in addition to that, they usually also don't have marketing people or the marketing experience that they might require in order to make their platform successful. And, well, if you have a platform that doesn't really get adoption, you might have a problem, because if it's not used, it will not bring value to the organization, so it doesn't have an impact. It will not get the money that you need in order to make it better, and then it will get used even less. So what do we do now? Well, that's not what we're going to do. I'll give you 10 quick tips that you can hopefully implement as soon as you go home and help you adopt your platform that you can even use without having a multi-million dollar marketing budget. And the first one is to actually think about marketing as a discipline that you have to invest into and that you have to think about for your platform team and for your internal developer platform. And when you start, one of the first things that you should do and that you should be aware of is define the people that you actually are building your platform for. And I hope a lot of you have already done that, right? Because this is really super important. It's the foundation for all the other platform marketing activities that you are going to do. It tells you what are your customers' jobs. So for example, they have to, well, develop features for their products, right? They have to ensure that these features run stably. They have to ensure that they're compliant. And how can you help them? What do they gain from and what are their pains? Once you've identified these things, and you should do that together with them, so you don't just make assumptions and say, that's what their problem is. You ask them, what are your problems? What are your pains? What are your daily jobs? How much time do you spend on that? And once you have that, you can really define the value of your platform and understand what you need to do in order to make them happy and to make them more successful. And yeah, there's a template there that you can use. We haven't invented that. It's basically a common startup thing that you should do if you're building a product. And if you want to have a funny video, you should look at that guy who tells you how you obsess over your customers. And it's a very nice video. You find it in YouTube if you put in customer obsession. Second tip, you should build a brand around your platform, right? Your platform should have a name. You should get a logo. It's quite easy with AI nowadays, so you can use ChatGPT, you can use logo AI. You should print some stickers, some swag, hand it out to people, and really make sure that people are aware of what you're building and make it nice, make it cool, make them want to be part of it. And then go out and share your story. Tell them why you're doing it, that you're doing that for them, and that, well, they know what all of this is about. Sometimes it's also a good idea to get in touch with your communication department. They might get bored of all their corporate communication stuff and they want to do something fun. They can be a good help in promoting your internal platform as well. Then if you're in the beginning, it's a good idea to have a launch party. If you're not in the beginning, you can do regular meetups where you show your features, where you give out beers, you give out pizza. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can even get some sponsors, some vendors maybe that help you sponsor these events. But show your users that you care about them, that you want to know, well, what they think about your platform and that you're building something for them so that you get the feedback that you need in order to make it better and be more successful. Next one can get a bit more tricky. So you should provide clear and accessible communication, right? And there's different ways to do that. So you can build it into your platform. We like to provide like some README files and also make it clear who's responsible for what. With a little shared responsibility metrics. But you should also have communication channels established, like a Slack channel or a Teams channel where people can reach out to you, they can ask questions, and they know when there's something new coming up. You can, of course, also have docs or a support mailbox, but you should have clear communication channels for your team so they know that well, this is how we are going to communicate. And these Slack or Teams channels, they can be the base of your community. Because if your platform is scaling, you adopt more users, at some point you will not have the resources to actually answer to everybody. So what you're aiming for is that you have your users helping each other out so they can answer their questions. And how you can do that, you can do regular meetups where you have show and tell, so you showcase the first use cases that they have built on your platform. You collect feedback to understand what is missing and improve the platform experience. And one important thing is you don't do like, we are the platform team and you are the developers or you are the users. You kind of integrate them and involve them in the process. So try to build platform advocates and to get solid backing of people that are using the platform and that are influential within your organization, because then you can like get their impact and their help in promoting your platform and driving adoption. You should, of course, also measure how it works, because you have your users, they might feel the impact of your platform, but you might also have to explain to other people what its value is. And if you focus on improving some of these metrics, like the time to cloud or the time that people need to provision their services, or the NPS, like do they really like your product, would they recommend it to another user? If you optimize on those metrics and you show the development of how this improves over time, you also have a good argumentation baseline for other stakeholders within the organization to justify your existence, basically. And then you should provide a super quick wow moment within your platform. So let users experience a really easy use case that they can deploy in 5 minutes and that they can experience the platform with. We use that static website so they know what it's doing, they know how it works, and they're motivated to try out some new stuff. Then, that's a bit more complicated, use gamification. So try to distribute game points, right? Incentivize the actions that you want people doing, and give them points so they are motivated to work with that. And then, that's a tricky one, leverage external events for internal visibility. Sometimes it can be super helpful to actually go out and share your story in the platform engineering community, for example, and you will see that even internally you will get more credibility and more fame by sharing that outside. And as all of you are here, I think you're already doing that quite well. So let's have a great KubeCon 2025, and thank you very much for your time, and you can come and see us outside if you're still around for a couple of more minutes.